How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. Tonight, we are doing another segment on Get to Know That Cosplayer, and tonight's cosplay guest is Big Fat Horror.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty well. Again, thank you for wanting to come on and talk about your cosplay experience and everything, and also big shout out to the Cosplay Coven that mentioned so into music that mentioned your name and everything. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, I adore them, every single one of them so much.
So before we begin, what made you come up with the name Big Fat Horror?
I actually did a recent rebranding. I used to go by Hildur Galaxy, but had some, just wanted to change the name that I'd been going by because it was an older name and it just didn't really feel like it fit me anymore. So I chose Big Fat Horror because I love puns. And I liked that it sounds like something else, but when you write it out, it is not
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I
That's,
fully get where the pun is in there, but
oh yeah.
just to save without getting demonetized, we're gonna.
Yeah. It's I wanted to go with less of a kid-friendly cosplay career, so I chose something a little more me, but a little more obvious to like who I am. I really love horror actually. Like horror is one of my favorite genres. I love gore and anything that you can do with horror, like horror in space and horror in underwater, any of it. I like all of it.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with that. I've actually seen a few of your cosplays on your Instagram, and they're really well done.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, to begin, how long have you been cosplaying for?
Oh, I was actually just thinking about this earlier. It, I got the interest at about 13. Didn't get to do my first cosplay when I wanted to, and then got some friends into it when I was 14. So that was like 2004, I believe, maybe 2005.
That's a
So it's
long. That's
it's
like a.
yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I've always liked wearing costumes. Like most of my little kid pictures are of me in some sort of costume. I wore certain costumes to bits. One of my favorites was a Simba costume. I wore it until it was shredded, essentially. But I don't do that to my costumes nowadays. I like to preserve them.
Hey, I mean, if it's a character you want to cosplay again, I can definitely understand that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and the costume was I guess comfortable enough to wear. I was a small child and it had some movability. So, and I was a lion. Who could go wrong there?
I mean, I can't argue with that, especially with such an
Yeah.
iconic character from a Disney movie. I mean,
hmm
what was your very first con?
Komori Kon. It was I went as Deedlit from Record of Lotus War. I have to say that because only two people knew who I was, but I was a very happy 14-year-old that somebody knew who I was.
Wait,
Uh,
what was it? Wait, who's the character?
Deedlit from Record of Lotus War.
D
It's
lit.
Deedlit. Deedlit.
Okay, I've never heard of that character. Continue though.
Yeah, sorry. It's a good anime, I promise. It's based off of an RPG game. Beautiful animation. But yeah, that was my first convention. I did a lot that first con. I got to cosplay only one official character. The rest of the weekend, since I was only 14, I wore like whatever costumey clothes I could pull together. But still loved it. Getting to be dressed up as somebody different. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I still have some of the pictures from that first convention that I took on a razor phone, just to
And
show how old I am.
Deedlit is a elf type character.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
She's a
I'm looking at it right now too. That looks like a. That's the cape itself looks pretty big.
Yeah, I didn't get to do the full armor. I'd started, but she has a dress with a design underneath. I did the wig, I did her little hairpiece, I did her arm warmers and her leg warmers and her boots. Um, Wigs were not easy to come by back then. I had to buy a wig off of yahoowigs.com, which isn't, I think, was recently still around, but is no longer,
Oh
or will no
wow.
longer be around because
I mean,
Yahoo is,
if oh man, if you want to feel, if you want to feel old,
yeah, yeah, right.
I'm looking at the character right now. I have never heard of this anime before. It's something I may have to look
It's
into now.
really good. Everybody should watch it because it's really good.
Duly noted.
It's got really good music. Both the Japanese version and the English version have. I love both versions. The dub is actually really good. I know a lot of people aren't big on dubs, but I love this dub. Also, Lisa Ortiz voices Deedlit, and I know a lot of people really like her. I think she really brings the character to life in the English version.
Nice. And what was it like going to Komori Kon for your first con? And what year did you go?
Well, it would have been that 2005 or 2006 maybe, but it was fun. I got mentioned or I got recognized the first moment I got there, which, like I said, was only two people recognized me the whole weekend, but it was still wonderful. The other funny thing was my father, I love him so much. He signed like six kids' permission slips to go. We were all fine. He said he felt very safe with seeing how, you know, seeing the crowd, seeing all these really passionate people, and we had an amazing weekend, for our first convention.
Well, I mean, shout out to your dad too for signing that
Yeah.
many permission slips.
He was like, "Yeah, you guys should just here to have some fun. I'm gonna help with that." I even told him that recently, and he said he doesn't remember, but he is happy that he was able to make us happy.
Hey,
So,
hey, at least you were happy to do it and everything. So that's like always
yeah,
a good thing. In my
yeah.
opinion, at least it is. So, what was it like cosplaying as Deedlit? Like, did you make the cosplay yourself, or how did you come about that? Because I know you're saying you got the wig from Yahoo Wigs when that was still a thing.
I had to straighten that wig because they didn't have anything exactly like that. So that was a super curly wig prior to um, me perfectly straightening it. Yeah, I went and got, beads and gold. Underneath the armor, she has this gold design on her dress. I found a dress that I had to heavily modify, like cut apart and put back together because I didn't have money to buy fabric, go and buy enough fabric to make. Um, and I made the art pieces. Like it was my first costume, and I didn't make everything from scratch, but I did have to make a lot of it, pull it together. But I still feel pretty happy about it. Even now, thinking back on it and looking back on pictures, like, if it was kind of a simple costume, but for my first, I'm pretty proud of myself still.
Hey, well, that's always a good thing. If you're happy with the cosplay and everything, and it makes you feel comfortable, I think that's what really matters.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And I got free cookies that weekend because the other person that recognized me before hotels stopped allowing outside food to be sold at events. There was a bakery that was there, and the owner recognized my character and was like, "You get a free bag of cookies." So I was pretty happy.
Hey, you
And then
can't beat
that
that.
was Yeah, and then that was it. The only two times was I had a Gundam box. He was dressed as the cardboard Gundam, recognized who I was, and then a bakery owner recognized me and gave me cookies.
Hey,
And you know what?
gotta be a fan of the
Yeah.
classics.
Oh yeah.
On that topic, have you ever cosplayed as any other classic characters from other animes, video games, and stuff like that?
I've been Terry from King of Fighters, which was pretty fun. Uh, my brain is blanking a little bit. Classic, it would be a classic now. I have been multiple variations of Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh before.
Nice.
So, the most recent one was the last Kumo that was able to happen. I was in the cosplay lingerie show, and right prior to me was a lingerie dark magician girl and a lingerie dark magician. And apparently, several people in the crowd wondered if the next person was going to be Seto Kaiba, and then I walked out, and it was amazing.
I've never. I've never heard of it. Care to explain a little bit about the lingerie show for Komori Kon?
Yeah, essentially a bunch of cosplayers or artists, they pick a character or a couple characters if they want to do multiple looks. And just like a fashion show or like the Victoria's Secret show, we come out in these sexy lingerie outfits that we've made. So months prior to the convention, we pick our character and then come up with our own design for this character. Essentially, alternate universe. What would this character wear if they were wearing lingerie? you know that's so just it's obviously an 18 and over event. There's no like nothing lewd other than we're very scantily clad, but it's just like a Victoria's Secret fashion show where we walk the runway, pretend to be in character in this outfit, and show off our creation.
So basically, a cosplay modeling show in a sense.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's a host that says the characters and the cosplayers, and there's music playing, and it was a packed house. It was a really good crowd, like a lot of people there, and they were all really excited. Like every costume that came out got cheers. There didn't nothing really fell flat. It was a fun event.
Well, hey, I mean, I've never heard of such an event. That's something interesting. Like I said, I'm not familiar with Komori Con. I've never been, but that's now. Do they have that every Komori Con, or is that something new?
It's somewhat newer. The host that was hosting it this past year, she was the one that I believe created it and has been doing it for the past few years. And she's wants to push it more. She's actually inspired me to want to come and do an adult event. I love conventions because you can do so much with them. There's so much that can be done with the right people involved with organizing it. And I like that you can have it be a family friendly, just like a fun place to be with your friends and see people. But then you can have a little bit of something for everybody. KomoriCon isn't the only convention to do that. There are other conventions that I've been to that have that adult only section. And yeah, I think it's nice to have the normal fandom fun, but still be like, here, this is also this other thing that I really like, and I
Kind of,
like that
kind of,
it's
kind of like
separate.
a convention after dark kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think more conventions should do that because they're missing out if they're not. There's a big market there.
And shout out to whoever that lady is who's hosting that side event for Komori Con too.
Uh, Hogyoku cosplay. Lauren is her name. She's notorious for her Totoro dress. If you're in the local community, but yeah, check her out online. That was Hogyoku cosplay.
Duly noted. Now, have you ever had that one cosplay that you've done once and just despite how it was, you would never want to cosplay it ever again?
There's a couple. You always have those characters that you try and then go, oh, why did I do this?
Oh, yeah.
Um, some of them are don't want to do anymore for personal reasons, but but yeah, the certain costumes that I've done, there's one that I really enjoyed wearing, but I would never do again. It was Valentine from Skullgirls. It was it's another like scantily clad costume. Um, but I had to wear so much underneath to like get the desired shape. And not saying that I just don't want to do that again. Like that was what I
Oh
did for the
my,
costume and
yeah, I know who you're talking.
yeah.
For those who were curious, just look at. I'm looking at her right now. I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I definitely love that character.
That's another oldie though. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
I don't mean like in wow in a bad way, but yeah, no, I'm just looking at the art like, oh yeah.
yeah. So I definitely enjoyed that costume and I liked how I looked, but um oh, and I also have a funny story of Ron Pearlman hitting on me in that costume. But it just I would not. I love that costume, but I don't think I want to do that
I
costume
mean,
anymore.
I can see. I mean, from your point of view, I could probably see why.
Yeah, and I love other people that wear it, and it's not like it's more of a personal thing at that point that I
That's
just wouldn't do that costume again.
that is perfectly understandable. Like I can, and you don't have to go into that. That's
Oh no, yeah.
you're perfectly fine.
Another, yeah, another one would probably be just more recent. I did She-Ra recently. I really enjoyed how I looked, and I enjoyed making the costume, but I felt it just didn't felt like it just didn't feel like the character that I wanted to be.
It's totally understandable.
Yeah, we. It, I love making costumes, so even when I don't feel extremely happy with the end result, I still know that there were points where I enjoyed making it, doing the research, figuring out materials, the crafting and patterning of it all.
Makes perfect sense. Now on to the next one. What's that one cosplay that you haven't done in a long time that you would want to bring back once COVID is officially gone and just over and done with?
Hmm. Probably Garu from One Punch Man. I it's a there's a version that I started making but didn't finish because, cons aren't happening. But I really want to bring that back. I also want to be Okuyasu Nijimura from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure again because I've been doing some like fun cosplay stuff at home. When you're at home, the costumes are there. Might as well put them on. But I can't wait to be that again around people because it's so fun being that character at conventions. The interactions you get with other JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fans is always fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at Garu right now. That's a lot of hair.
Yeah. I'm actually remaking the wig that I made too.
Yeah, that's always good. I'm actually speaking of One Punch Man. I'm wanting to do since I'm bald and everything. I plan on doing Satyama's cosplay, casual cosplay, where he's wearing
Please.
his Opai hoodie.
Please. I would love that. I love Saitama so much. Please.
Yeah, no, I plan on buying a pair of white shoes to make look like his actual shoes he wears in his Opai, wearing while he's wearing his
Nice.
Opai hoodie. So I was like, all right,
Nice.
it's simple.
Yeah, if we somehow are ever at the same convention together, we should definitely get a picture of you as Saitama in that and me as Garo, because, I mean, that is accurate.
Duly noted. Um,
Yeah.
now, for those who are considering getting into cosplay and conventions and all that stuff, what kind of advice would you give to first-time congoers and first-time cosplayers?
Don't try to be perfect. Really just enjoy the fun of it. If you really are a crafty person, because some cosplayers like to just wear costumes, and some people like to create and wear the costumes, just don't stress. Don't stress about the right color, the perfect pattern, the perfect design. Just have fun with it. You know, that's what you're gonna remember the most is the parts that were fun, the parts that were enjoyable.
That's, I mean, that's really good advice for those out there who are considering doing that.
And I mean, if you are a perfectionist, I can't stop you. Do what you want, really. That's it at the end of the day is do it, decide what you want to do. But don't feel pressured is my main thing. If somebody tells you it's got to be a certain way, but you want to do it your own way, follow your way 100%.
No, most definitely. And I imagine someone such as yourself, you have your own unique, like when you do like original characters, I imagine you have your own design on doing those kind of cosplays.
Yeah, I I don't really know if I have like a method for how I do it, but I'm a bargain shopper when it comes to materials, and a recycler. So if I find something that is not perfect but is resemblant, I'm gonna go with it. It's if it works or if I can see how I can make it into that, that's what I'm gonna do, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm sure the one thing I've heard a lot of cosplayers I've interviewed that they say thrift stores are your best friend.
Mm-hmm. They truly are. I mean, that's where, back on the subject of deedlit, I found a dress at a thrift store, and I found some, like a necklace of beads that were kind of what I wanted, and that's what I got.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had that one cosplay that somehow, whether you're getting it ready for the convention or at the convention, like something ripped, torn, something just did not go the way you had hoped it went?
Yes, that's also many. I have ADHD, so I definitely procrastinate sometimes or get distracted when I'm working on things. So some costumes get finished with enough time, and sometimes I am definitely working on things the night before in the convention, if that matters that much to me, you know. I have definitely hot glued myself into some pieces.
You've hot glued yourself?
Not myself. I've hot glued myself inside of, like, connected two pieces of fabric
Oh,
over
okay. For the
myself
way
and
the way
glued it. Yeah, no. No. I have had some friends have me hot glue things to them, but never again. Those were the olden times when you are young and reckless, and we don't do that anymore. So yeah, I've definitely done the last minute. Some costumes I have thrown pieces away before taking home because I just didn't want to take them home, and it was a trashed piece that I couldn't take anyway. So hotel room garbage, there it is.
is, I can't imagine how that went.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some for sure. I haven't had to do that often, thankfully, but there's certain construction you try to finish something too last minute that you weren't sure how you wanted to build it, and the way you built it wasn't exactly what you wanted, or it looks really good, but then you find out that it's not as durable as you thought it was going to be, and it gets a little squashed or messed up while you're at the con. If it's unfixable, or you have to redo the whole thing anyways because it got so trashed, it sucks when you have to just leave it, when you have to get rid of it.
No, no, I imagine. Now, are there any characters that you're looking forward to cosplaying that you've never cosplayed before? When again, conventions can be an actual thing again.
So many. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff in the works. Some stuff specifically for performances, like when you can do lip sync and drag and whatnot again. Uh, and then some stuff just just for the fun of it, you know. I really want to be the one that I really want to finish cosplay wise is Tengen Uzui from Demon Slayer. He has not been animated yet. Well, he's been animated a little bit, but his main part in the series has not been animated yet. But I'm excited to have that finished in time for his anime, scene. And yeah, I'm looking forward to conventions for that, truly.
That would be pretty cool. I know Demon Slayer is definitely, becoming a big major thing, especially with its first full feature length animated
Mm-hmm.
movie coming out this month.
Oh yeah, I'm so stoked for that. It's my birthday month, so happy birthday to me.
Oh yeah, no, definitely happy birthday.
Thanks.
So that'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Any experiences you would like to share of going to conventions, cosplaying, anything, funny, sad, embarrassing? I always try to bring in a little humor as well with these interviews.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Um, I can I say the Ron Pearlman story because I didn't even get a
If
chance to share
I mean,
that.
if you're wanting to, feel free to.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I was wearing that costume as you saw, and he we were the only people in line that were in costume. I was with another friend. We went halvesies on a photo, and we walk around the corner. You know how they do at conventions for autographs? They have them like in a little boost area.
Right.
He was curtained away. We came around the corner, and everyone stopped and stared at us. She was dressed as Ellie from Borderlands, so she had this like 7-foot wrench next to her, And I was in this nurse costume. So everyone stops and looks at us. Then they go back to taking pictures. We walk up. He gently takes my hand and says, "I need to tell you something." I go, "Oh, what?" He goes, "You're not wearing, I think someone took your pants." And I go, "Oh, yeah, haha," because I'm wearing nothing but tights and a jacket. We take our picture, and then he turns back to me, looks me up and down, and goes, "I like it. It's really doing it for me." And we said our pleasantries, and we left and got our picture. I walked out going, "Should I have gotten a room number? What just happened?"
That's that's definitely something. I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, my mom's response was she found a Beauty and the Beast pin from
The series you
you know
starred
the
in.
80s series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and said, "Here's your boyfriend." I went, "Thanks, Mom." Appreciate that.
Hey, I mean, whatever works. I mean, I'm sure that was something quite unexpected, though, too.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Uh, any other kind of experiences you'd like to share aside from the Ron Perlman one?
Oh yeah, give me one sec. Um I mean, oh, same weekend. The creator of Gunsmith Cats, he also saw me in that costume and told his translator to tell me that I was a very sexy nurse. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll take it." Sorry, I just
Gun
remembered that.
Gunsmith
Yeah, Guns.
Cats.
Yeah, I can't remember the author's name, but the series Gunsmith Cats. That author was there that same weekend, and I went to go get a autograph for a friend of mine, and he had a translator with him who told me that. All right.
Definitely, it seems like you. I mean, now got like a few more minutes here. Like I said, it seems like you really like to cosplay a lot of, and then there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of classic
Uh,
characters that not many people ever heard of, or seen or heard of in years.
yeah. I definitely. I am not always known for doing characters that are mainstream. I've had some desires for doing characters that are mainstream, but I always tend to lean towards the side characters more. Uh, and that's just the way that I've always kind of gone. Or I fall for series that not many have heard of, and I like them enough that I want to bring them to life, you know? I still have plans for characters that I know maybe five people are going to know who I am. But the beautiful thing about the internet nowadays, too, is you can cosplay anything, and there's going to be quite a few people that are going to know who you are, you know? And I really like that. I like that connection of being able to find other people with common interests so easily.
And again, there is nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
We got like well about a minute here. Some last minute advice you like to give, just in general, from like your experiences and everything, to those who are listening.
Really, same thing about having fun. Don't take no shit. If somebody's being creepy, if somebody's being uh mean about your costume, if somebody, just tell them no. Just tell them in whatever way that you feel comfortable that they cannot talk to you that way, you know? They can't rain on your parade. If you're having fun and they're trying to tell you that the series you're cosplaying from sucks, why are you here, you know?
Can't argue with that.
So yeah, have fun and do what you want and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. You know, unless it's illegal. Don't do the things that are illegal.
Oh no no no! Do not condone any of that.
None of that. No, no.
uh, well, again, what is your name? Your actual name, by the way, if you don't mind me asking, so I can.
My name is Hildur.
Hildur. Okay, easy name to
Yeah,
remember.
I tell people to think of a hill made of dirt without the T.
Hildur. Nice. Again, Big Fat Horror, thank you for coming on to talk about your cosplay experience and convention experience, along with some advice as well for those who are listening out there.
Yeah, no problem. I loved it.
And also, if you wanted to learn or know more about Big Fat Horror, a link to their Instagram will be in the description below, if that's okay.
Yeah, I also have a TikTok.
Um, with the same name?
Yes.
All right, well, and the link to their TikTok will be in the description below as well.
Oh, you don't have to add that.
Oh,
I'm just saying they can find me.
oh okay. Well, other, yeah. Again,
Appreciate it.
I'll mention it. Again, thank you for coming on, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Again, I am Wayne the Unknown. Thank you for listening to Cosplay Con Talks. Get to know that cosplayer. And until next time, thank you for watching.